Welcome to the webinar Extended School Year Services, also known as ESY. My name is Vicki Dieter, and I'm the Autism Resource Specialist for the Catawba Valley area. You can see my email address on here. This presentation will provide a brief description of Extended School Year Services. We're going to hit the high points. And what we would like for you to take away today is the definition of Extended School Year Services, eligibility, and we're going to share some federal guidance about the criteria to consider for ESY, and then who determines the need for ESY. So what are extended school year services? Well, these services are based on the goals in a child's current IEP, and that includes specialized instruction or related services that are part of the IEP. The ESY is designed to maintain skills necessary for the student to make progress on their IEP goals. The services are typically provided during the summer break, but they are sometimes provided at other extended breaks, like Christmas or spring break. And services always are at no cost to the parent if it's needed to provide the student a free, appropriate public education. And it is a part of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and the federal regulations for the special education law specifically define and explain ESY. So schools must not limit ESY to particular categories of disabilities or limit the type, amount, or duration of services. Who's eligible for ESY? For some students who receive free appropriate public education, they may need to receive services during time periods when other students normally would not be served. And these are students with an IEP who requires ESY, again, to receive a free appropriate public education. And then for the students who will lose skills during extended breaks from school. So the eligibility criteria for ESY. The primary way that ESY is determined is through regression. And regression refers to a decline in knowledge and skills that can result from an interruption in education. Now, most students are going to lose some skills over the summer break, but they usually very quickly recoup those skills. And this is actually why schools tend to review what they learned from the previous year at the very beginning of the school year. Recoupment is the amount of time it takes to regain the prior level of functioning. So the issue is whether the benefits that child receives during the school year will be significantly jeopardized if they're not provided an educational program during the summer months. Emerging skills is another reason. So say the child is in a critical stage of developing a skill that has potential for increasing that student's self-sufficiency. If that skill is not completely mastered, it's likely that the current level of acquiring that skill will be lost due to the interruption of services. And another term used for that, you may hear it called window of opportunity. So this could refer to a variety of skills that a student might be working on. Reading might be one. Communication, that can include talking or augmentative communication. If a speech therapist is working with a child to teach them how to use an augmentative communication device, and it's near the end of the school year, and maybe they are getting real close to learning that skill, it could really be detrimental to stop the instruction with that and then wait to pick it back up when school starts the next year. And the nature and severity can really be an important factor in determining eligibility for ESY services. So children with severe disabilities are more likely to be involved with ESY programs because their regression may be a lot more significant, and their recruitment abilities may extend over a longer period of time. So it may just take some kids a lot longer to regain what they lost. And so, the question is, will the learning that occurred during the school year and the progress the student made be jeopardized if the student doesn't receive ESY services? The IEP team makes the decision about whether a student is eligible for ESY and how those services will be delivered. This includes the goals and objectives that will be addressed through ESY services and the amount and the duration of services. It's not all that typical that all of the goals on a student's IEP would be addressed through ESY. So the team will look at the IEP, where the child's progress is, and make a determination about which goals that they might want to focus on for that student. And all required IEP team members should be involved in the meeting. That means the special education teacher, general education teacher, the LEA representative, related services personnel, and of course, number one, the parents. ESY must be considered at the student's annual review. But in some situations, the need for ESY services and the specifics of the ESY services may not be known at that time of the annual review for the IEP meeting. So in that case, the team can identify the date it will meet to determine whether a child is eligible and the services that will be provided. The team might also plan what data they need to gather to assist them in making those later determinations. If that's what happens, if they have an annual review, say in January, and they just don't feel like they have enough data at the time to make a decision about whether a child's eligible for ESY services, they can decide a time when that determination will be made, and then when they have that meeting to determine ESY, they can do an addendum that documents the ESY determinations at that meeting. So the IEP team, when the ESY services and needs are to be determined, should be done in sufficient time to allow any party to exhaust administrative remedies prior to the break in services. And then the IEP document will serve to notify the parents of ESY determinations the school districts made. As part of the IEP process, the parents are informed of their rights and their due process procedures to challenge the decision of the school district. So that piece is taken from the special education law. What it means is that any decisions about ESY need to be made early enough in the year so that parents have the opportunity to resolve a disagreement with the school before the opportunity for their child to receive services has already expired, which usually means before the end of the break from school. There are some resources that are out there that you might want to check into to learn a little bit more about ESY. As I said, this is kind of the quick and dirty explanation about extended school year services. The Duke Children's Law Clinic has a few years ago developed a great guide for special education in North Carolina for parents, and the link is listed on this slide. Rights Law is always a good resource to find out about parent rights. And of course, the Autism Society of North Carolina. You can call any one of the autism resource specialists in your area, and we can share a little bit more information, or even just talk about the specifics for your child and maybe help you figure out whether your child would be eligible and what kind of services they might need for extended school year services. And autism resource specialists are available to help families in every county of North Carolina. We're all parents of children or adults with autism themselves. So we have firsthand knowledge and understanding of what you're going through many times. And they're also trained professionals with many years of experience. And this is the direct link from the website for the Autism Society of North Carolina for you to find your regional autism resource specialist. And the local chapters and support groups are great. There are more than 50 chapters and 8 Hispanic autism support groups throughout the state. They're led by generous parents or family member volunteers who join together with other concerned individuals to create a welcoming and inclusive community of support for individuals with autism and their families. And again, this is the link for the chapters and their contact information for those groups from the Autism Society website. My name is Vicki Dieter. I'm an autism resource specialist with the Autism Society of North Carolina. Phone number is 828-256-5202 or 828-256-1566. Hope that you'll reach out to me or one of the other autism resource specialists if you would like more information, or if we can help you with your child's extended school year services. Thank you so much for participating today.